Dave, there's big news in the supermarket industry here in St. Louis. Shop and Save, one of the bigger chains, is pulling out. More than 30 stores. Schnucks is buying about half of them. Unless somebody comes up at the last minute and buys the rest, they're going to close. 1,300 people out of work and less competition in the business. I think this is bad news. What do you think?
Well, it's interesting. The competition issue is interesting because 20 years ago we had a big supermarket merger. Schnucks bought National, and the FTC was all over that with antitrust investigation. They made Schnucks sell off the stores. Eventually Schnucks had to pay a fine for the way they handled that spinoff. It was a big deal. Number one buying another competitor. Now Schnucks, they've actually already closed on the stores they want. It doesn't look like there's going to be any antitrust deal. The word is the market has just changed that much in 20 years.
It certainly has. If you look at, Schnucks has about 30% of the market. But if you look at their second competitor now, it's Walmart, which wasn't even selling groceries 20 years ago. And they're about 20-something%. You put them together and you got half the market, but there are a whole lot of other competitors. It's astounding. I walked into a Menards store, a hardware store, and they're selling groceries. The Target's selling groceries. There's just a lot of competition.
Oh, there are hundreds of dollar stores, convenience stores. The discounters like Aldi and Save-A-Lot are a big factor in the market. They've been growing market share, whereas some of the traditional retailers like Shop and Save have been losing market share for years. Shop and Save, I think, just kind of lost its niche in the market.
That's exactly right.
They were the original sort of discount grocer in St. Louis. They were founded in the 70s in Belleville, and they grew with that low service, lower prices concept. But that was, as you said, before Walmart, before Aldi started growing. They're not the cheapest anymore, and they're not the not the high-end, high service, high quality niche either. So they're kind of caught in the middle, and it's a tough place to be.
And they weren't even low price at the end. There was one survey, I think you quoted in your column, saying that 8 out of 10 items, they were actually higher priced than their competition. As they got squeezed, they couldn't. As their sales went down, they had to jack up the prices, which of course chased away their customers, and that's why we see what.
That's why we Super Value just decided that they weren't making any money in St. Louis, so that they sold the stores they could, and the rest may close.
But still, it's bad news. It's bad news for those 1,300 people who can lose jobs. These aren't the best paying jobs. These are paycheck to paycheck people. And if you had a Shop and Save down the street, now you're going to have to find someplace else to go drive a little further. I don't know. So.
That's true. And another question is, some of the stores that Schnucks is buying are actually pretty close to another Schnucks. So it's the question is, are they just buying so they can, down the road, shut down their older store to get the one that's better located. We may see additional closings. That's completely speculative at this point. But as far as, is this bad news for consumers? I mean, other than the convenience factor and maybe you like some of Shop and Save's store brands, I don't think you're going to see tremendous price increases, because the pricing pressure is still going to come from Aldi and Walmart at the low end, and their Schnucks and the others are going to have to respond to that.
I agree. Bad for workers, but for consumers, not much difference.